John Glenn, the last of the Mercury 7 astronauts, the first American to orbit the Earth, died late today. He was 95. Back in 1962, America was losing the space race. The Soviets had already sent a man into orbit, and just 6 months after that, they detonated the world's largest atom bomb. So the pressure and excitement were sky high that February day when Glenn, America's knight in shining spacesuit, compressed himself into Friendship 7. School children held their breath watching black and white TVs. Grand Central Terminal stopped in its tracks, eyes glued to a big screen. And President Kennedy waited to exhale at the White House.
3, 2, 1, 0, ignition.
Minutes later, Glenn reported 0 G and I feel fine. It would be his signature catchphrase for the rest of his life, a life of many orbits, remembered now by Nancy Cordes.
From the cosmos to Capitol Hill and then back again.
Godspeed, John Glenn.
John Glenn was an astronaut, a politician, and a patriot.
I had, I guess you could say, 47 years of federal service. I had 24 years in the Senate, 23 years in the Marine Corps and the space program. And we're proud of this country and what it provides for people. And I still think we're the example for the rest of the world.
On February 20th, 1962, John Glenn famously became the first American to orbit the Earth.
Oh, that view is tremendous.
When he came back, Glenn became a national hero and received a ticker tape parade in New York City, the largest since World War II.
I got on this project because it'd probably be the nearest to heaven I'd ever get, and I wanted to make the most of it.
Years before he made history aboard his Friendship 7 spacecraft, Glenn flew fighter planes for the Marine Corps, racking up 149 missions during World War II and Korea. During his 4 terms in the Senate, Glenn was a key player in Democratic politics, but his hero status didn't translate into national political appeal.
I believe this nation of ours can be #1 in this world.
And his bid for the presidency in 1984 never really got off the ground. Glenn's political career took another hit in the late 80s when he and 4 other senators, known as the Keating Five, were investigated for accepting hefty campaign contributions from savings and loan owner Charles Keating. Senator Glenn was eventually cleared of wrongdoing, but a Senate commission found he used, quote, poor judgment. After serving nearly a quarter century on Capitol Hill, Glenn retired from politics in 1998. That same year, nearly 40 years after his first NASA journey, Glenn returned to the stars.
Liftoff of Discovery with a crew of 6 astronaut heroes and 1 American legend.
At the age of 77, the first American to orbit the Earth made history once again, becoming the oldest human ever to travel into space. The nation's senior astronaut returned to Earth with a message for other Americans his age.
I think too often people set their lives by the calendar. Old folks have ambitions and dreams too, like everybody else. And why don't they work for them? Why don't they go for it? Don't sit on a couch someplace. That's my attitude.
And Glenn followed his own advice, staying politically active until the end, publicly opposing the decision to end the space shuttle program. President Obama awarded him the Medal of Freedom in 2012.
John Glenn has streaked through 3 days.
Now, as a nation bids farewell to a true hero, Americans, for one last time, can wish John Glenn Godspeed.
Godspeed, John Glenn.
Glenn's famous spacecraft, the Friendship 7, now resides here at the Smithsonian's Air and Space Museum. The White House said today that journey lifted the hopes of a nation, and President-elect Trump Scott called him a great pioneer.
Nancy Cordes for us tonight. Nancy, thank you.